three guys at the top of the pound-for-pound rankings with Anderson Silva and George, and a lot of people have Jose Aldo up there as well. How do you think George's performance tonight affects that? Do you think it impacts, in your mind, moving him up, moving him down anyway?
And Frank Edgar. Frank Edgar's in that mix too. I listen. I love George. I've been up here talking to everybody about him for a week. But Anderson Silva is a pound-for-pound best player in the world.
And I guess, on that, I mean, I'm not saying this to be critical with George, but he didn't finish a guy whose eye was closed for 4 rounds. Did you see that as like, something that, maybe if you're critiquing him at the highest level, that's something you can, call him on?
What I would call, listen, and see if there's somebody here that disagrees with me, I don't know, and I could be wrong, but I don't know how many fights in mixed martial arts I've seen in the last 10 years where a guy closes the guy's eye from a jab. I mean, everybody was bitching about George St. Pierre. He doesn't this, he doesn't that. All he does is go down and take people down. Well, this thing was a total stand-up fight. He picked Josh Koscheck apart. Beat him up, all 5 rounds. You couldn't give 1 round to Koscheck. You got to give it to Koscheck, though, for all the criticism of Josh in the past. He's a cheater. He didn't get poked in the eye. He this, he that. Let me tell you what. The doctor went over to him and said, "Can you see? Do you want to continue? Do you want to fight?" And he stayed in that fight and continued to fight and tried to, to mix it up as best he could with 1 eye. There's so many different ways that you can look at this thing. You can say, listen, George fought a one-eyed guy. If he had the killer instinct, he would have went in and finished him in his hometown. I thought he fought a beautiful fight against a guy who I have a lot of respect for. Josh Koscheck talked a lot of shit about this country, about French people, and everything else. And he flew into Montreal, Canada, stayed here for a week, and came in, walked right into this place and fought George St. Pierre tonight. So, listen, it was a good fight. I figured, the first thing I said when he didn't finish the fight is people are going to criticize him for not finishing. He stood up the whole night and really fought a great fight and picked apart a guy who's a great athlete.